superstardom.
The voice is unmistakable, isn't it? He headed up Sky's boxing coverage for many years, known as the voice of boxing quite rightly, but then stepped away from the ring and put his microphone down because poor old Adam Smith had a fight in his hands. He had a cancer battle. I'm delighted to say that Adam is well enough to join us today here in the studio at talkSPORT. Good afternoon. First things first, quite obviously. How are you?
Oh, firstly, it's great to see all of you, Simon, yourself, Spencer. It's been a long road, Jim. It's been a brutal year. It's been tough. It's been life-changing, and I'm just happy to be here. I'm happy to be alive, back with my family, and every day is precious for me now. I'm cancer-free, which is the great news. But it was a tough journey. I had 3.5, 4 months in 4 different hospitals, and then I went into chemo. It was rough, but you know, I guess I've never fought in the ring, but I had to dig pretty deep at times. But I've got 3 beautiful children, and I'm back with them, and I feel like I've been given a second opportunity at life. I had a wonderful time at Sky, 29 years. It was brilliant. Spencer was with me for a lot of it. You were there, Jim, for much of it too. And some magical memories, some incredible opportunities, some phenomenal fight nights. A few years at the darts as well. Looking forward to going back up to Ali Pali to watch it next week. But and mentoring Savannah Marshall and Daniel Altmaier as well. I enjoyed that side of it, and I really would like to give back to athletes going forward too. So yeah, Sky was fantastic. I think it's the right time though to explore other opportunities. Obviously, my health is and my family are the most important thing. But I reckon I'm 90% or something, Jim. I'm walking around a lot. I couldn't walk 3 or 4 months ago. It was 50 yards at a time. It was really tough. And there's a lifestyle change, but it's a change that's made me calmer, made me appreciate life more, and enjoying watching sport from a distance. But keen to get back now.
Adam, you say, you know, it has been a horrendous battle with you. You know, I've been in touch with you through that process as well, and you know, you really have been through it. Thankfully, you have made that recovery. You know, we talk about the history of you involved in boxing over 30 years, and we've been on many journeys before and covered all the top fights. It didn't take you long to get back there, did it? Because I mean, I literally saw you. You know, you'd been given the all clear, and I literally saw you in Manchester at another fight. I mean, literally weeks after you got out of hospital. I mean, you struggle to get away from the sport of boxing, don't you?
I think you do. I think boxing's in us, isn't it? And always has been. I first walked into the Sky Studios in 1994, but I'd worked with Evander Holyfield before in the States, and you know, I grew up on Barry McGuigan, and Tommy Hearns was my hero. And look, I love all sports, as you know. I love football, cricket, darts, tennis, the lot. But boxing, there is something about it that's special. I love the fighters. I love you guys more than anything. I respect everybody that gets in the ring at every level, and I've really enjoyed the journeys with Prince Nassim Muhammad, Ricky Hatton, Carl Froch, Joe Calzaghe, David Haye, obviously AJ and so many others. And of course, you know, launching women's boxing as well through Katie Taylor and Terry Harper, Chantel Cameron, Savannah, obviously Tasha. It was brilliant, and I think I've watched fights obviously while I've been away. I've watched a lot of sport, but I've also been concentrating on just getting back to fitness. Because I'd never been ill before this. Every day I was working and enjoying the boxing world. But I think that the break, it was pushed on me, but I think it was also needed. And I feel, even though I've gone through a really, really hard battle, I feel in a way it's given me a peace, a calmness. And as I said, every day is precious now. I have a new lease of life. I'm ready for different opportunities. I want to give back. I want to help sportsmen and women as much as possible. And I love it. And of course I've missed it. It's in you, isn't it?
I'm so glad, Adam, you said yes to me the other day when I gave you a call. This fella is the voice of boxing, isn't he, Sam?
Oh, I think so. Over the years that I've listened to him and also watched him and watched the interviews and the way that he used to hold the show together with Johnny Nelson on ringside, and the dynamics of that, and the people that they had in there, the intriguing shows when you have George Groves and Jamie DeGale that can't bear the sight of one another, or you've got Tyson Fury in the green room and you've got David Haye sitting on a bench with Mick Hennessy. And I always felt that Adam's insight and outlook and disposition was so intriguing. And you know me, I'm not the greatest admirers of journalists and presenters, but I always wanted to listen to him. And every time I listened to a fight and he was commentating on it, you know, I love people like Hugh McElvenney. I think they're great boxing writers and great observers of life. And he has all of that alongside this, you know, this ability to turn the conceptualization of his book into something that you want to look at and read, and it's intriguing because he's taking you on a journey inside the, you know, the intrigue of a fight when you're watching it, or when you're watching the whole dynamics of talking to fighters and getting inside them. So I, for one, am a huge admirer of his.
Yeah, Niall,
and he knows it anyway.
Niall in Liverpool, one of many sending messages this lunchtime, Adam. I hope this makes you feel more relaxed as we go along in the final half hour today. Jim, for me, Adam's simply the voice of boxing. He's one of those people, when he talks, the room falls silent. There's another one. Adam, I am so pleased to be listening to talkSPORT this lunchtime. So pleased that you're okay. Get back on the mic. Pete up in Liverpool. Jim, you've got to read this out. Adam, it's great to have you back in boxing. You have been sorely missed. Now that you're back to full health, when are we going to hear from you again? People are going to say that to you now, Adam, when you're out there in the street. They talk to me about him every time I leave this building. You're going to get this, Adam. When are you going to be back doing what you're brilliant at?
Well, it's a big question, and I went to the Manchester show, actually. It was a KSI one. I mean, what I want to go back to, KSI and Tommy Fury, but I went because my daughter likes Tommy Fury, so we went along, and it was great, and why not? It was 20,000 people packed in. They all had a fantastic time. So that was the first one I went back to. But really, it was Dublin. It was Katie Taylor. She's my friend. She's our friend. We've been on holiday together. We know Katie, you know, going way back, and so I really went to support her. I couldn't get to the first Chantel Cameron fight. I was in hospital, and obviously she lost, so I wanted to be there for the rematch. I think Chantel's a wonderful fighter. I've got huge respect for both of them, but you know, I went as a friend of Katie's, and it was great to see Eddie and everybody, and had a lovely sort of warm reception at ringside. It was fantastic. Stevie Collins was there, and Andy Lee, and some of the great fighters from Ireland. I love Ireland, so it was a good one to go to, and it was a great fight. And I did a little interview for DAZN, and I look, I'm having a think, guys. You know, I need to sort of look at what I really want to do. I love the sort of mentoring side of bringing up Savannah and bringing Dan Altmaier through in tennis. He's now in the top 50 in the world, and I like working with. I've loved working with, you know, whether it's a Spencer, a Ricky Hatton, a Carl Froch, George Groves, you know, whoever it is, and also going out to the States and, you know, working with the likes of, I don't know, Miguel Cotto and Oscar De La Hoya, Roy Jones, all the greats, and it's just getting to know them and their families and their backgrounds, and I love all that. So
right. Well, I'd like to make do with us today.
Yeah, you go, and I love you guys, and it's nice to be back. So I'd like to give something back after the sort of journey I've been on, but at the same time, I would love to get back behind the mic. I do miss it, and it's just a case of when and where. But let's see. I want a nice Christmas with the family, and let's hope things.
Well, Adam, you're back behind our mic right now on talkSPORT, and we're delighted about that. When we come back after this, we'll talk boxing and we'll talk about December 23.